One of the easiest way to make this bike look better is by customizing without really spending a lot of money. So there's a few things that I really want to address so I can feel like better with the bike, and I usually try to work on them first because I want to be like one with the bike, if that makes sense. So those are the every touch point on the bike. For example, I did not like the position with the handlebar, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm just gonna get a low profile handlebar, which is gonna give me a more like a sporty type of position. If that's what you're looking for, that's an easy and somewhat cheap, way to kind of find that perfect position for you. Tail tidy is another one, which includes some of the turn signals and whatnot, and then also the turn signals in the front. So if you are looking to make some modifications like similar to that, in addition to maybe some mirrors and something, since you're already replacing the handlebars, those are the three things that I'm going to be doing today, so just follow me. I'm first going to be starting with the front turn signals. They are not horrible. They have clear lenses and whatnot, but honestly, I like the more sleek profile. So I'm going to be removing the balls so I can remove them from the bike, but I'm going to show you how I did it, without really having a lot of trouble. So I removed the seat and I removed the two hex bolts or not the hex bolts, start bolts on both sides of the tank. I removed that plastic piece and then I lifted the tank and I kind of pulled it back a little bit. Just watch out for lines kind of coming off, so always take a quick look at it and make sure that the lines haven't come off. Although not completely necessary, I'm using a tester to show you how you can identify what cables you have to replace, because there's a bundle of cables and plugs that you're going to be exposing as soon as you pull the tank back. So I put the bike on accessory and then I started one of the turn signals, and then when I hit the cable, you're going to see my tester blinking as you just saw it. Now I'm going to the left side and kind of identifying the bundle or the specific cable that is going to be the one corresponding for the turn signal. Two things that I told you are not necessary. You don't have to necessarily pull the tank back, but something that I have learned is to really try to work in an easy way where I can get access to things. So pulling the tank back is actually going to keep giving me that help, additional support that I need. In addition to that, the tester is not completely required because the cables are completely labeled with L and R for left and right. At this point, you're just going to be unplugging the plugs and then cutting a few of the zip ties you're going to come across that are kind of keeping all the cable very tight within other bundles of cables that are kind of going to the headlight. So you're going to be pulling those, and then just as soon as you have your turn signals freed up, you can pull the cable carefully and you don't break it. My turn signals are universal. They're not specific to this bike, but I didn't want to cut any cables or splice any cables. So what I did, I went to Amazon, or you can go to RevZilla or any other bike shop and then buy pigtails that are specific for your bike. So I bought Ducati type of connectors that they end up in a pigtail. So those pigtails are going to be connecting with the new turn signals, and that way I can connect to the existing harness on the bike without having to splice it, and I can then make that additional connection between the turn signals and the pigtail. To avoid any hassles, once your connection is done, make sure you try it and test it. And I'm really happy with the slickness of these turn signals. They turn out to be very nice, bright, which is very important to me, but also very low profile, which they look very much better than the ones that we already have in the bike. So now I'm just going to be doing the final connection since I know everything is working. So I'm going to be using the open wrench in the back and then my hex in the front, just so I can fix them in place. And with this, you should be good to go. Please repeat the same process on the other side and your front signals are going to be done. At this point, just put everything back by just keeping all the cables together like you found them when you originally exposed the cables. Put the tank back, don't forget the bolts, and you should be good to go. Now we're starting with the handlebar. So I told you that I was gonna go for the low profile type of bike. So I'm going to be removing all of the peripherals that are attached to the handlebar, such as mirrors, controls on the left side, controls on the right side, and the last thing I'm going to be doing is just to remove the accelerator, because that one, it's kind of fixed in place, but you can remove everything else and then just kind of slide it out, so you don't have to completely open the mechanism, and that way you don't have to deal with that. Believe me, after 60 bikes, I've learned the hard way, and this is the best way you can, kind of pull the handlebar without having to, undo all the right controls on the accelerator side. For this specific bike, you're going to be buying a 7/8 handlebar. That means that this is not oversized. Like the actual measurement and diameter for the entire bar is going to be the same from end to end. And for this one specifically, your miles may vary. You can go with whatever type of handlebar you want. In my case, I bought a rental ultra low, which I really love, because now I'm super convinced that I made the right decision, because I really loved it as soon as I got on the bike once I got it installed. Process is pretty straightforward. You just have to do everything that you undo on the previous handlebar, and then you have to just put it all back together. You're going to find out, and I'm going to potentially explain it later, that this one is actually about 2 to 3 inches shorter than the one that came with the bike, which means that depending on the bends, there's a chance that you might find yourself in the situation where your controls are not going to fit exactly the same way they fit on the bike before, which took me to a place where I haven't had before, or a situation that I haven't experienced before, which is having the start-stop bottom on the left side, just so I can have more symmetrical and easy to the eye type of configuration on my handlebars. This step is important because you want to be comfortable on your bike. So, not intending to ride it or anything right now. I just want to undo the bolt so I can get some. First of all, I'm just gonna try to get it in the middle by looking at the marks. Okay, and I think here, good thing is this is one bike that you don't have to worry about hitting the tank when you're kind of going left and right with this type of bars. So that's a good thing. And this is in the middle right now, so I'm going to tighten up a little bit so that I can start playing with whether or not I like it more like this, which is less aggressive, or maybe like this, which is gonna be super aggressive, kind of leaning a little bit forward. And with my arm stretch, I think this is too much. That's a little bit extreme. So I think I'm just gonna start with a place in the middle. I'm going to ride it like that, and then we'll determine if this is the right approach or not. But at least it's in a place where I feel comfortable. Now that I have the orientation that I want to do a couple things. I want to check on the orientation for the brake. So if this is gonna be like so, I like that there. I like it like that. So I'm gonna hold it there. So it's good there. This one is too high, so I'm gonna have to move it. And now I'm just gonna, in relation to the brake, I'm going to set up, that this is where I want the accelerator to live. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit so it's not moving around like that. And now I have to go to this side because this one is too low, and put it down a little bit. Yep, down a little bit so it matches the accelerator, and I feel comfortable there. All right, pretty happy with that. So I'm just gonna torque this down. So the book calls for 22 Newton meters. I'm going to torque them down to 22 in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 pattern. Let me turn this on. Double check that's in Newton meters. Yep. So let's do it again one more time. And I'm going to double check one. Perfect. All good. All right. So these are the mirrors that I bought for the bike. They are 3 inches, and they come with a base that is very similar to this type of like clamps that you use, and then they come with a actual hex wrench, as well as the bolts you're going to be using. Something that my intention was to install them something like so they're like very profile, but they're so wide that they're still going to provide pretty good visibility. One thing that you may not like is the fact that they seem to be flat, so they're not convex, but since they have so much surface area, I feel pretty comfortable with them. I mean, not every mirror is convex. I don't even think the ones that are in here, the shape was maybe longer, but you know, these are still potentially providing a lot of, like, you know, surface, so I can, you know, see back. So I'm gonna give it a try to see how I like them in here. But if you don't like them, as you can tell, they bend, so you can put them up and you can do like this and kind of tilt them. You can do this and kind of do this gaming here. So you can, there's a bunch of different ways you can install them. So I'm just gonna play with them and see how I like them. All right, so this is exactly kind of what I was looking for. So hopefully you can kind of get the picture. So this shaft you can rotate like so. So I can, you know, fix this in position and I can rotate it so that I can get access to, you know, multiple different ways to install them. So what I'm thinking is just doing something like this on each side, and then I'll have it in here. And if they clear the tank, then I'm golden. So what I'll put in here, I'll put only one bolt for now, which is here. So I'm going to do that right now. So I have like the real position I'm looking for. Perfect. Okay. Then this is not interfering with anything. Put the one on the bottom. The way I wanted it is in here. I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of like Loctite to it. Okay, so this is kind of what I was looking for. Much better than that, not that, but you know, you get the idea. Let me do this. Hey, actually, I'm gonna tie this up first before I keep doing anything else. It's not completely tight, but enough so that I can kind of get a picture and start playing with. Actually, you know what? I really like this, but I don't want it to interfere with my hands nor with the tank. So what I'm going to do is to kind of put it in the middle. Put it in the middle. Okay, and see, let me get these all out of the way and see what happens when I move the tank to see if it's gonna hit or not. Yep, it will hit. So it will have to be like this, but now I need to know that okay, it's not interfering with my kind of move it later and then just do the final adjustment. But yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Yeah. I like the look, love it a lot. Let's see how I like them when I'm riding. All right, so these are the mirrors now mocked on the bike, and you can tell, you know, they look so much cleaner, and they are, you know, they're kind of in a place where I can change them while I'm riding, so I can make sure that, you know, I have good visibility without really having to tilt down a lot my head. And they both clear the tank, which is important. So they just kind of come like through here, so they're not really gonna get in contact with the fuel tank. And it gives me that, you know, really sleek look, you know, across the bike, so I don't have nothing kind of extending along, I mean, beyond this point besides my body. Good. This is the moment that I realized that I made the right decision. Like the actual mirrors are perfect. Like I really can see behind, even though they are not convex, and even though they are on the bottom of the handlebars, I really surprisingly don't have to put my head really like look down a lot so that I can get visibility in the back, which is something that I didn't want to have to do. So super happy with the position. Your mileage may vary. You know, you may not like this position, but I do love this position. So if you're looking for something like this is the way to go.
All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the go. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up. And that's for the championship. Yeah, I dropped in. Feeling like I need a top 10.
Minor modifications actually made. That's not a whole lot of money, but now I have a much cleaner, rear end, as well as, the turn signals in the front looks much better. I'm still waiting for the turn signals in the rear, but those are gonna come pretty soon. But you can tell, how sleek it looks, especially the biggest piece, that made a huge difference is the actual, mirrors that are not extending here anymore, and it's a low profile, and it feels amazing. I was just trying to go in turns in here, kind of practicing, getting used to the bars, and I really love the way it looks. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and wash this thing, because I did a bunch of modifications without even washing the bike. For walking with me on this process, and it's amazing just to be able to share with you what I'm doing with this bike, and hopefully it's inspiring you to do it as well as if you have any questions on how to do it, how worthy I get whatever part or the part number that you're looking for. If you want the bike to look like mine, that'll be amazing, and I'll be more than happy to share with you the information so you can do it yourself and answer your question if you have any questions on how to install something or whatnot. So thank you again for watching.